All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Get started.
All right. Ready?
Yes.
Tim's kinda dumb. Let's help him get smart. It's time to teach Tim stuff. Hey, welcome to Time to Teach Tim. We got Chris Pruneau in the house. What are
Hey.
you going to teach us today?
I'm going to teach you about serial killers, Tim.
Yeah, baby.
Hell yeah.
So how did you when did you get into serial killers?
I don't know. Like when I was in high school, I always had a fascination with the morbid. I don't know. It might come from metal music too. A lot of metal that I like also has to do with a lot of gore and the imagery and stuff.
Yeah.
I just love, I don't know. I love morbid things. I love just gory stuff, things that are hard to look at, things that stick with me, and in a bad way. I really like just absorbing that. I don't know.
All right. So the video people are gonna get this, but the audio people aren't. I fucked up. I forgot to hit record.
Oh shit.
All right, so here we go. Take two.
Word.
Tim's kinda dumb. Let's help him get smart. It's time to teach Tim stuff. Hey, welcome to Time to Teach Tim stuff again. We got Chris Pruneau in the house, and he's going to be teaching us about serial killers.
Hell yeah. Hell to the yeah.
So, you got into serial killers high school through metal music, kind of.
Yeah.
You're just saying,
Yeah, a lot of a lot of metal, a lot of grindcore, a lot of just anything, anything that having to do with the morbid and macabre.
Yeah,
That's my thing.
I feel because when I was starting to get into serial killers, I was younger, and I felt like it was a cool counterculture thing, a shock value
In a
to
way.
just tell people did you know Charles Manson did a lot of acid?
Yeah, it's because, and I don't know, some of it some of the stories are a little bit funny in a dark way, because a lot of the serial killers are just really dumb, they're just dumb guys that are at the end of the day, but then they're just. I don't know. They're just trying to make it in this world, just like anybody else, man. Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to keep this fun this episode. Keep it light.
So, who is your favorite?
My favorite. I have I really like Richard Ramirez, Night Stalker. I think he's cool just because of he's all about Satan, and he got the palm and shit. Jeffrey Dahmer is cool. I like him a lot just because that's a person who I feel is they should have been helped, but nobody ever came to their help. Jeffrey Dahmer's a case of someone that it could have been avoided.
Yeah, did Jeffrey Dahmer? Is he the one who ate his victims?
Yeah, he was the gay dude who really loved to eat men and stuff. They found a bunch of heads in his freezer when they finally found when they raided his apartment and stuff. They found a bunch of shit. They found shrines and everything to him. To a bunch of dead people and stuff, and then found a pot full of dicks, a stew of cocks, and I think that's fun.
I don't know why I always assumed a gay cannibal would eat the cock first.
Yeah, no, I mean they say with cannibalism you can't eat the brain because that's how you get mad cow disease.
Oh yeah. So then the head is pretty much useless then for sustenance.
Yeah, if you want to look at it and just keep it on the mantelpiece, that's fine, you know.
Well, the eyeballs are very nutritious.
Yeah, tasty eyeballs.
I know, when people do hunt animals, they eat the eyeball first.
Pop it in, yeah.
There's a episode I watched this thing called Meat Eater, and it's the one episode the guy's cutting out the eyeball, and he's you got to get the fat behind the eyes, and they eat it, and they're oh my god, it's sweet, it tastes like sugar almost. I was
They say human tastes like pork.
I would believe it.
Yeah, I would believe that. I wonder what smell burning flesh smells like. It probably smells kind of good.
Yeah. I feel I would taste cigarettes and coffee.
Yeah, I don't think I would taste very good either. I think my ass would probably be good though. It's juicy. Yeah. Juicy enough, you know. Yeah. I guess I got a couple notes here today just to kind of give us a jump up start. If we're going to talk about serial killers, just talk about what makes a serial killer and stuff. So there's this thing called the McDonald's triad, and that's not as tasty as it sounds. Basically, what it is, it's three things that happen in someone's life that kind of usually lead to them being a serial killer. It's traumatic brain injury, arson, and then bedwetting. So it's yeah. And also killing animals too, killing small animals, that kind of plays into it. But yeah, basically what all that leads up to is if they have, because they've done studies on different serial killers, that all usually a bunch of the time they'll all have some brain injury that really fucks them up. They'll and then that'll make them shift into they'll start killing animals. They always start wetting the bed because it's a weird nervous thing. It's weird. They also usually have issues with their moms. A lot of them.
Yeah.
There's never been
who doesn't have issues with their mom?
You know,
love you, mom. Well, actually, that could be an issue too. People who like love their mom too much.
Yeah.
Like it's like the not Chainsaw Massacre. It's the Psycho.
Yeah,
Like,
Norman Bates.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people who like Ed Gein. He's not like necessarily a serial killer. He can only kill 3 people. I'm gonna just like clear his record, his name right now. You know.
Yeah.
These are usually lumped into like a lot of serial killers, but he was mainly just a corpse defiler. Like he just like making furniture out of shit and a lot of things. And like his mom like made it seem like he God, I'm just like I should have had some coffee before this. I can't get my words straight. Like,
I got some there if you want some.
No, I'll be all right. Yeah, no, his mom just made it seem like it's like, yeah, all women are whores. Like, don't go near them. Like, I'm the only woman who loves you. And a lot of serial killers' moms will kind of give that, like, put that in their brain that, like, all women are bad. Like, no one's going to love you like your mom and stuff. And so some people grow up, like, they'll start killing women because of their mom, or they'll start, like, killing women as, like, a resentment towards their mom.
Huh.
Like, Ed Kemper, like, he's called what we would call a replacement killer. Because what he did was he would just kill a bunch of women that were like his mom, and like, but then that led up to him eventually killing his mom. Like, so he was just kind of like, yeah. And
well, that's like the ultimate sign of love is murder, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's why women love the murder TV shows. Like,
I used to not get it. Like, I used to not really like understand why everybody was into it, but then like you watch it and you're like, this is actually kind of crazy. This is insane.
It like hits a spot in your brain that's like kind of numbing.
Yeah,
like,
because they're monsters. They're like real life nightmare people.
Yeah.
Like, especially someone like Richard Ramirez. Like, he's a true like made out of like horror books. Like, should not. Like,
yeah. Well, that's what like Night Stalker was great, but also like somewhat disappointing because like I felt like they could have made it creepier, but they like focused more on like the police aspect, which I get.
Yeah.
It was a good angle for the show, but
yeah, I know. Like a lot of like true crime like media is always really like hit or miss.
Yeah,
it's hard to find some good ones.
Yeah,
because a lot of it is either going to be like way too much. Like all the Ted Bundy documentaries are always just like, oh, but he was so like handsome and nice, as opposed to being like a killer. And it's like, yeah, he was that, but he was also like a crazy, like a violently schizophrenic person. And no, and also Ted Bundy wasn't as charming as people make him out to be, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't watch that one at all, so I don't really have. I also don't really know.
Zac Efron played Ted Bundy in like some biopic about him. And it was like all, and the whole movie's about like why Ted Bundy is innocent and stuff. And like they make a
Zac Efron. What a fucking wild choice. For
Zac
that.
Efron is like, yeah, like how do you go from like High School Musical and then now you're playing Ted Bundy, you know?
I mean, if the roles, like, I would do anything.
Yeah, I want to be. My dream role is to play Charles Manson in something, but I'm too tall to be able to play Charles Manson. He was like 5'4", small little man.
Really?
Yeah, real tiny.
Yeah. Is there like a thing with serial killers that a lot of them are short?
There are some that are huge, like massive people, but like a lot of them like are like there's like Pee Wee Gaskins is a guy. He's like a really like old timey one. Like Pee Wee, like he was like a mad small dude. And like it was funny. He's pretty funny because he probably only killed like 7 people, but like they kept giving him like food and stuff every time he would like confess to something. So he would just like be saying he's like the body here, and then like just get a free meal out of it and stuff. So he did that for a while. But yeah, no, a lot of them are huge. Like the Iceman, like you heard of the Iceman, right?
Well, he was a hitman, right?
Yeah, he was like a mafioso kind of serial killer. He kind of blended the two worlds together, and he's like a ginormous man. He would have he would use this tactic called the tree. Where he would tie a rope around his wrist and then tie a noose like on the other side and then just hang somebody with his body.
Jesus
and just
Christ.
like rap. Yeah, he's insane. There was one time too that was mad funny. He was like talking about how he had a crossbow and he just bought it and he wanted to see if it worked. So he just like pulled up to a guy in traffic and then just shot it through shot the dude and it worked. Mad funny.
My God, the balls on him, just knowing like he can get away with it.
He's got great interviews. He's like, they'll be like, so what's it like, you know? Like after you like do this, like you're dismembering a body and stuff. He's like, well, you know, like after a while, it just becomes a job. It's like, you know, I got pizza in one hand, chainsaw in the other, just slicing up bodies. He always said that chainsaw was the messiest way to go about like disposing of corpse. Gets everywhere.
Yeah, I feel like saw of any type would not be good. Yeah. Circular.
You want to go like just try melt them in the bathtub, you know?
Yeah. That's what was cool with the Breaking Bad, like when they like broke down the science of melting somebody down
with the lye.
Yeah, because that's the thing I never understood. Like, so I think it was like hydrochloric acid. like you actually use that like in pools a lot to like change the pH. But like I remember like if it gets on your skin, it fucking burns like a motherfucker, and then you have to use I think vinegar or something,
some shit like that.
But I never understood like how it stayed in that plastic container. I was like, how does it not just melt through?
It's like how glue like doesn't stick to the inside of the bottle.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. But so like what is the amount of people you have to kill to be considered a serial killer?
I think it's 5. It might be 3. Like I think like Ed Gein, like he probably just got the cusp of being a serial killer. That's why like he is technically a serial killer.
Yeah.
Like because he did like 3 people. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it has to be like 3 people, like rapidly, like sort of like not rapidly, but like usually like in a time span of like time. Yeah. And then some killers are weird. Well, they'll just like because like it usually like the way a serial killer works is like so they'll start out, they'll experiment. It starts out with phase 1, like usually being like, all right, I'll fuck with like animals, I'll kill, like I'll torture these small things, little like gifts, and then goes into the second phase where you start like becoming more like I need like more of a rise out of this. So you start like going for people, more things, stuff. Not necessarily killing yet. A lot of people will start with home break-ins, robberies. A lot of like murderers will do that.
Yeah.
And then that'll just kind of make them like, and then it's the thirst just goes on, and then eventually they're killing people.
Yeah.
And then once they're in that stage of killing people, then they only can go to a berserker mode, which is when like the pressure starts to get on them, and then they just start going haywire. They stop caring about like any sort of like being caught or anything. They kind of just want to be caught at this point. And so they it's like Ted Bundy with the massacre of like all those like sorority kids, like that was like his berserker mode and stuff, like because like he was like pretty what do you call it, calculated for most of it, but then like they just started stacking up, and then you just go crazy, go a little kooky.
That's a crazy thing about like planning to kill someone. It's like you not only have to like plan the whole murder, but then you have to plan everything. Like getting rid of a body.
It's impossible nowadays. Like especially.
Yeah, I feel like you just fucking leave it. Like, oops.
Some people just like you just leave it there. Maybe someone finds it. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't. Yeah, I always think about like I can never be a serial killer. I'm just way too lazy about it. Like I would not want to do any of the work. I'd want to do the killing part. That'd be fun. But it's like being a comedian. It's like, like I love getting up and everything, but waiting for like getting called up and everything. Like, I love the action of it.
Yeah, and then you gotta like write and edit.
And then it's like first I gotta find magazines to cut out my note in. It's like, I gotta think of a good riddle to tell the cops. Like,
Did they ever find Son of Sam? Did they? I don't remember.
Yeah, Son of Sam. But what's his name? I forget his name, but Son of Sam. They found him. He was he's interesting because he was one of the only serial killers that used a gun. Most of them don't use guns and stuff. They usually go for knives and stuff.
Yeah, they'd rather do it.
But he's very much like he would like pull up, go pa pa pa, like just unload and then like leave. He was crazy because like sometimes he didn't even care if he killed people. Like he would just like want to cause mayhem.
Yeah.
He started out as an arsonist too. Like he would of course. You can jewel in here. I've been jeweling this whole time, buddy. Yeah, it's like he fuck. Oh yeah, Son of Sam. Oh, thanks, baby. Oh, you got chocolate in there and everything.
Ooh.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Amber, everybody.
Yeah, shout out Amber. Thank you for this awesome swing chair, too.
Hell yeah. Fucking, Son of Sam, he would just, but he started out as like an arsonist too. Like he would make fires in like apartment buildings, then call them, and then like he wanted to feel like a hero, so he would be like the first responder technically to the fire. But like it never worked like really like that.
Did he then ever like call in his murders? Oh well, yeah, I guess with the letters, pretty much.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, with the letters and stuff. There's some people. There was BTK, Bind, Torture, Kill Killer.
No,
he was free for a while. Like he was like crazy. Like his whole thing was he was like a serial killer nerd. He's like if I like wanted to start being a serial killer just because I really enjoyed serial killing. Like I loved that immediately. And so he was like a big nerd for it and really wanted to like be a famous serial killer. So he made up his own nickname. Like he called himself BTK, like in his notes and shit. Like you never make your own nickname. Yeah, you don't do. You have to wait for the police to call you that. Like
that's like the comedian who calls themselves like the Spectacular or whatever.
Yeah, right. And it's like you gotta earn. BT. Yeah. It's like, and so he would make he would just like make a bunch of notes and stuff and like send them out to police, but they would never catch him and stuff. And he's like, oh well, like I'm not. So he took a break for a while, and then in the age, like I think around like the 90s or like early 2000s, like he wanted to still do killing and still like send his like hint notes, but like no one used paper mail anymore. So he emailed the police, and then the email got traced back to his house, and that's how they caught him. Like technology was the downfall of him, because he just wanted everybody to like know him and know his story. But they know him now, you know. We could write to him, I think, right now. We should have him on the pod.
Shout out BTK.
Yeah, BTK. Bind, torture, kill. Yeah.
I feel like if it's BTK, it's got to be your initials. Like, come on. Like,
it should. No, that would be funny if like it's like his name, like
Brian Thomas Kendrick.
Yeah, he's got a granddaughter too, and it's funny. There's like a picture of her wearing like a Burzum shirt, like a Mayhem shirt, like some black metal shirt, like while she's like visiting his grandpa and stuff. It's so funny.
I feel like if you're like a family member of a mass murderer, you gotta be into like dark music.
I like the thing where it's like if you don't have a serial killer uncle, you might be the serial killer uncle. You know? Oh man,
that's the thing. I mean, especially like the way that like serial killers murder people, like up close with
personal, like
I don't like. I always think like if I had to like kill a cow, like would I be able to do it? I think I would be able to detach myself enough from it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't like.
I always thought hunting would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But, like every time, like I don't know, my mom had like an old like boyfriend who would like take me like shooting in the woods and stuff. We never shoot at anything. We just kind of shoot targets and stuff. And like I always thought about like if I could shoot like a deer, but like. I don't know. Like, I feel like when it comes down to it, I wouldn't be able to like actually like take its life. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, also the after part, you got to skin it and then like, become really. It's so much. Again, it's so much work. It's the cleanup. That's
if serial killers applied themselves to any other trade, they'd be billionaires.
They'd be great. They'd be so good. They'd be like. There's so many things that they could have done with this knowledge. Like Jeffrey Dahmer could have been. Like, he worked at a chocolate factory. He could have become the CEO of that chocolate factory and stuff. Like, and then, John Wayne Gacy was funny. He used to be the manager of a bunch of KFCs, like, while he was being a serial killer. So it's like, he's mad funny, too.
Can you imagine, like, just going into work the night after you killed someone? Like, God damn it, I gotta turn on the fryer.
Yeah, you're just like, opening shift again. Yeah. It's like... you get, and then someone doesn't call in that day, and you're just like, you have no idea what a mistake you just made. Sometimes, John Wayne Gacy, another one of those like gay serial killers, like closeted gay serial killers who like only killed exclusively like boys and stuff. Jeffrey Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy, they were two guys who I think like because the homosexuality wasn't like as big of a thing, they couldn't like really express themselves. Because that's the thing, like no one like no one cares if you want to tie people up, maybe do a little bit of blood play, but as long as it's consensual, that's all fine, But these guys, like, since that wasn't really a thing back then, they didn't really have any outlet to do that, so they just kind of took advantage of what was there and stuff. Like he would prey on like boys and stuff that he would hire for like his like independent contracting company and shit. He was a clown too. And like that played into it because he would like have them over. He would like be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a cool guy. We'll smoke joints like together. Have a couple whiskeys,
lure him in.
Yeah, lure him in, and then he'd do this thing. Be like, "You want to see a magic trick?" And then they'll be like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "Okay, this is the handcuff trick." And then he'll like put handcuffs on, put them behind his back, and then he'll be able to break out of them. And he'll be like, "All right, you want me to show you how to do it?" And then they'd be like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And then he put the handcuffs on, and then start laughing at them, like and just being like. Like and then
sneaky little bastard.
Yeah, and that's a funny thing about him. I guess funny thing about him, like he started like, I think like what his downfall with him was that he was fucking some boy, wasn't gonna kill him though, and then the kid woke up the next morning making him breakfast, and so he was gonna make John Wayne Gacy breakfast in bed.
Oh, and then he opens
the door. And, like, I guess he had, like, a kitchen knife or something on him. And then John Wayne Gacy was just like, oh, fuck. Like, shit. Like, just in a panic, just killed that kid. and then ate both breakfasts afterwards that he made after he realized he was like, oh, shit. And, like, that kid was his downfall because he was, like, a varsity athlete kid. And like, he used to prey on just, like, kind of poor kids. That's, like, the thing of the less dead that we'll probably touch upon. Like, once, like, if people, like, less dead, it kind of refers to, like prostitutes, black people, like people of color, people who like the eye, like the public eye doesn't really like care about like the forgotten people, like like homeless people and stuff. Like that's why a lot of prostitutes are subject to serial killers and stuff, because like people don't really.
Yeah, people aren't connected.
I care about them.
Yeah,
like I'm saying, like people don't, yeah. And
well, people with like transient lifestyles who don't have like people checking in on them, like everyone. Yeah,
but then and then they'll make the mistake of killing like one person who like someone does care about them, and then there's like a whole like then you'll see missing posters go up. And it's a big thing. They found 32 bodies in John Wayne Gacy's basement.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, right. The space he must have in that basement.
Yeah, right.
Like that's more what I think. It's like that's a
32. Like unless you're like burying them on top of, that's a bigger basement than I live in.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, he's probably definitely burying them on top. The smell had to get to you at some point too.
Yeah. I wonder what the rent would be on that basement.
Yeah. Man. No, you go.
Do you believe in like ghosts or anything like that? I know it's a little off topic, but
I feel like we might as well go into that stuff, because you can only talk about serial killers like so much. Like, we might as well go into different, more macabre stuff. Yeah, I like ghosts. I like ghosts a lot.
Well, no, I was just saying it because, like, like usually like ghosts are like born out of like a tragedy or something. Yeah. Like
oh, that basement is probably riddled with dead boy ghosts. Yeah.
Dead boy ghosts.
Yeah.
But I like, that's the thing, like I never get, like, how come like when people get haunted they're not like there's no like that house, like I assume no one lives there now, but there's no like reports of haunting there.
I know. I would definitely want to live in John Wayne. I would want to live in any of those houses. That'd be kind of, I would like apartment 117 or apartment 17, I think is Dahmer's apartment number. That's like an infamous apartment, like in like that building.
Yeah, and like
that building still exists anymore, honestly.
That's the thing too that modern times have not really gotten rid of, but like make it a lot harder. Because actually maybe not. Do you think that people are more aware or less aware like now? Because like I feel like people try to avoid people more.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, like harder to be a serial killer now.
Yeah,
like I definitely, because like yeah, it's just too hard to like get, like there's DNA, there's like ways to get everything. Like I didn't know this. Like I heard like there was this one killer that I was just like listening to a podcast about. He would go like crazy. He would take the duct tape off of the people because he knew that they would check the duct tape for fingerprints and stuff. Like, so it's crazy. Like they'll do anything like to catch, like they, like it's really hard to get away with things. Like you'd have to I think to successfully get away with like being a serial killer, you'd have to always be traveling, never in one spot at once. Kill people who don't have like any sort of like you don't want to be like a type killer. You don't want to like have your type. You want to just kill whoever, you know.
Well, that was the crazy thing, like with the don't fuck with cats. Like, because like everybody has an online presence, and like everybody like has like a weird kind of clique. Even that like I feel like people who normally would not have a crew like in like the 70s.
Yeah, they
like,
do. They have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, yeah, it's easier to like not feel so alienated to the point where you have to kill people to like make your point.
True. Like
you can like if you're into like gross gore like pictures and stuff, you don't have to make those yourself. You can go on the internet now and find them. Yeah. Like you can get anything, you know. Yeah. That's what I do now.
Well, it's kind of funny that like you were saying, what is it, the McDonald's triad?
Yeah, the McDonald's triad. It's like, I was working with a kid once, and I asked him because he was like mad into, I don't know, he wasn't really into, he was just like mad, like kind of off, and I was like, did you ever like kill animals when you were a kid? He's like, yeah, like, you know, like my friend's dog once, and I was like, whoa, okay.
Whoa.
I was like, whoa, okay, all right, next question.
Yeah, that's almost a human. Yeah. A dog is almost a human.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, all right, well, did you ever like start fires or anything? He's like, oh, like okay, like a little bit, and I was like, all right, and then he's like, and I'm like, all right, so like, did you ever have any like bad like head injuries or anything as a kid? I'm just asking him like every question. He's like, I did, like I had one thing, and then he was telling me about how he used to wet the bed too, and I was like, oh no,
Jesus Christ!
I was like, just drop me off here. I'm happy I'm on your good. I'm happy I'm your one friend at this job.
Yeah. Well, that's what. So like brain damage. I don't know about the killing animals, but and then
bedwetting.
Bedwetting, like those are also like things that make comedians.
Yeah, right.
So like I'm like wondering, like people say, you know, where you get like, oh wow, you're killing.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if there's like
a thing, you know.
Like I wonder if like Ted Bundy was like
a pretty funny dude.
Yeah,
yeah.
He just didn't find the stage.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like John Wayne Gacy was a clown. He was an entertainer.
True.
You know.
Yeah.
He was I was like, yeah. There's some people who are just kind of funny, like in a really weird, like not trying to be funny way. Like they're just telling their crime, but like they're doing it in a way where it's like so. Like not like lackadaisical that they just like it's just like it's hilarious that it can take this so like just like chip off your shoulder.
Yeah, that's what like. I mean, I'm always like amazed when people tell like non-flattering stories in a funny way that makes it endearing.
Yeah, right.
Like that's such a skill.
I
like,
always try to do that, and I can never.
Yeah,
I don't know how people can do that. Like they just because I'm like I'll be telling a story. It's like, oh no, I'm just. This is showing that I'm an asshole.
Yeah.
No, they have a way of making it seem like they're not assholes ever. They're just doing their jobs, essentially.
Yeah, I have this one. I'm not going to tell the story, but I have a very unflattering story that's like ripe with jokes. But the second I say what I was doing, people are like, gross.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But
yeah, no, they should have. I wish some killers became comics. And then you have that one comic who became a killer almost. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, so like I know there's a bunch of like interviews with killers like afterwards, but do people like really profile them though to like look for? I mean, obviously there's the McDonald's triad, but then like there's got to be very similar.
Yeah.
Steps to becoming.
Yeah, there are usually like that's why I say like a lot of it is like becoming like having like a really horrible like home life does not help at all. Like all those dudes, like all their moms were kind of either like too present or not present enough, and that is like a thing. And are also their dads are like overbearing and stuff, and they just want to like a lot of it too is like them being like I can show my dad I'm a real man, like by killing all these women, like I can do it. And then no, like because a lot of the times they'll tell stories and stuff. It's like 2 + 2 = 4 at the end of the day. This happens. That's gonna obviously someone's gonna be a little bit uneasy about it. But that's not to say like everybody with a bad home life is destined to become a killer though.
Yeah.
Some people are really funny because of it.
Yeah, and then I always feel like there's got to be just like the one experience that like completely dehumanizes people.
A lot of people. Yeah, that's a great thing because Richard Ramirez and stuff. Like the thing that I think made him like into like the person that he is. Like he had an older cousin who was like a Vietnam vet, and when he got back, he would just show Richard Ramirez like all like little like young ass like teenage Richard, just like a bunch of pictures of like him like raping people, and, like just gory ass pictures, like real footage that he took. And then his older cousin got into an argument with his girlfriend. And then his like older cousin like shot like just murdered his like girlfriend in front of little Richie, and then that's kind of what made him be like, oh, this shit's kind of cool. Like I like my cousin, he's a cool guy. He smokes weed and he likes to kill people.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like, could you imagine like your life if there was like a serious hardcore trauma like that? Like, cause like I've had like my little traumas, and I hold them to like such a high
I think
standard or whatever in my brain.
I think if I had the life I had, but like in like the 80s, I'd probably become a serial killer. At that point, like I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you were born when you were born.
Yeah, born in the right generation is what I'm saying. No, I'm just saying that like lots of I don't know. I listened to like a bunch of stories and stuff. I've listened to too many like murderer like biographies and been like, oh, me. Like,
well, that's the thing too. Like, if I, well, actually, no, that doesn't really make sense. But like, I was just thinking like, what it would take to get me to that point, and I honestly don't think that it would be really that much.
Sometimes it's just as little as like someone forgetting something in my McDonald's order.
Then
I think I'm pushed to kill. Like,
especially because like I'm an emotional person.
Yeah, me too. Like
on a bad day, if a bad thing happened, I think I'd be a lot closer than I would like to admit.
I can't even see you being like angry like that. I feel like you'd just be like, "Oh golly!" like,
good gosh darn.
Yeah, you just stamping your foot, like throw your hat on the ground. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing though, like, cause like I've learned how to not bottle stuff up, but like when I was like 24, I was a pretty angry, confused little dude.
Yeah, we all are, man.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 22.
22.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're so young.
I know. I refuse to believe that you're 35. Sam Ranger. I refuse to believe it. We're just too much, and like we me and you like have too much of a chemistry and click. And I'm like, you can't be like that.
Yeah, I'm old, man. I'm on my way down.
Dude, no, but
it's all downhill.
You're killing it right now, though. You're in the peak.
Yeah, I'm trying. You know what? I was listening to this crazy podcast. It was all about like your cells, and so like apparently there's like a part of your cell that holds gunk, like stuff that it's used up, proteins it's destroyed, and that when you starve or like if say you don't eat, like for like I don't know, like 10 hours, your cells start to use that. And throughout my entire life, I had like never eaten breakfast. Usually don't eat until dinner. And I was like, did I like accidentally biohack my body to where I'm like younger?
Yeah, I was like homeless for like a second, and like I was very familiar with like the fact that like I'm just gonna eat one big meal and then my body will take care of the rest. Like it'll keep me alive. Like, don't worry. And it's like, but yeah, you know, now I'm home and I got a nice big belly now. So
and a nice Death Row T-shirt.
Yeah, Death Row. I wanted to wear something kind of like morbid, like, you know, I got somebody in the electric chair, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's the biggest serial killer of all is the United States government.
Yeah, exactly. It's the death penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Death penalty is weird. I don't know.
I honestly, like, I don't think the death penalty should be a thing. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Me and Amber talk about this a lot. I don't know. I think it's okay sometimes. Like when it's definitely like this person definitely did, but there's been too many people, I guess, that have been sent to the chair without any like proper evidence, really.
Yeah, well, not only that, like, don't you think it's a bigger punishment to like be alive
Behind
in
bars,
jail for a long period of time?
Yeah, no,
like
I would argue
life?
that. No, some people like love that though. Like some of the dudes, like they want to be like they enjoy jail life and stuff like that. Just becomes like their new like the dude Carl Panzram, the meanest man in America. Like they said, like he just like loved jail. He loved being in jail. Like Charles Manson too was like the same way. Charles Manson, like he grew up just in boy penitentiaries, like just state homes and stuff like that. And so then like when he was finally got out, like he just like he wasn't really able to like assimilate really well, and he just really enjoyed like being behind bars. So people are just.
I mean the routine.
Yeah,
like,
the routine. Sometimes I think when I was like in my worst spots, I'm like, hey, maybe I'll do a crime so I can get like a bed, 3 square meals a day, like some free clothes.
Yeah, that's But then, so like, society with most serial killers, society has failed them in some way.
Yeah, a lot of some of them definitely society has failed them, but some of them think that society failed them, but like they're just kind of like they just like a lot of the time there's like the dudes like there's like a whole like part like I love serial killers because like there's subgenres within serial killers. It's like music. Like there's dudes who are like really into like hypochondriacs or like into like blood, like Richard Chase and this guy Andre Chikatilo. Their whole thing was they had erectile dysfunction, and so their dicks couldn't like get hard at all and stuff, and so they heard like, you know, blood runs to the dick and stuff, so they got really invested in blood, and they just like so Richard Chase would like, he was this dude who was just really obsessed with blood. He would like get rabbits and then just eat them, like just like drink their blood and stuff, and then those guys are always the most gruesome because they just like it's just weird twisted psychology most of the time that gets people like in this like, so they think that like my dick needs blood in it, so I'm gonna drink blood and then I'll have a hard dick. But like, and then their dicks will get hard, but it's not because of the blood. It's because like,
of the murder.
It's because of the murder. Like that's really what happens. And so like so it's like a bunch of like, so it's a combination of people like who are just outcasts of society that could have been helped, and there's other people who are just lost causes who are like, you think like this, and like there's no other way to help you, you know.
I think that's actually the one case where I would murder if that was the only way my dick could get hard.
My dick, yeah. Honestly, yeah. Like,
could you imagine you had to like kill something to jerk off? Oh, that'd be awful.
That'd be awful. It's like sometimes there's things that happen to me like where I'm like, I hope my like tubes don't get like, I hope my wires don't get crossed. Right? Like sometimes I'll get like a boner while I'm taking a shit, and I'm just like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
I hope this isn't a thing now.
I hope this is just because I'm pushing really hard.
Yeah, right. Like, I hope I'm not into scat now. That's why
we're all so close to that.
Yeah, there's only like a couple things that have to go wrong in someone's life to like make you like just a weird sex freak.
That's why, like, I don't know, maybe at 35, like, I'm done with that, but I'm always scared that things are gonna, like, imprint on me. Like, that's why I think that a lot of people have such a thing with feet.
Yeah.
Because I think when they're kids, you know, they're crawling around or they're just, like, low to the ground. And something happens, you know, your mom's friend comes over and she's, you know, bobbing her foot. And then, like, for whatever reason, it clicks in your head.
I got into feet later in life, honestly. Yeah.
I'm not so much into feet. I think I think it's because I don't like my feet. I have you know
We should do it. I should come back for another episode. Do Chris Pruneau teaches Tim about kinks and stuff. Because like that's a whole another episode. Like I'm into crazy shit.
Well, that's the thing because I think you're honest with yourself.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are into crazy quote unquote shit, but they're not honest with themselves.
They don't want to commit to it.
Yeah.
Which is like you should like that's why some people become serial killers because they can't express themselves in the way they want to, and so it comes out in a way where it's like really harmful to other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if we were able to study serial killers, find out like who is on the verge or the cusp. And actually, you know what it probably is? It's probably because most of the people who are on the verge or the cusp are like society's outcasts.
Yeah, a lot of
that might be why we don't like care.
Yeah, exactly. And it's sad in a way because like like these people are monsters and everything, but like when you really look into it, like it's sad that like this is what it had to come to. Like you really want them to like do good in life. I want everybody to do good in life, but sometimes
Well, that's why I feel like the death penalty shouldn't exist. Like if we fail them and they end up in jail and they enjoy jail, like then they should be allowed to be there.
Yeah, just be in jail. Yeah.
I don't know. Like that's probably why I could never kill someone because I'm like, yeah, they committed horrible, unspeakable crimes, but they enjoy jail.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's let them.
Let's let him be. Come on, he's funny, guys. He's likable. Yeah. Sometimes I want to do a heinous crime just so I can like get to know like the interrogator, just schmooze.
Yeah.
just try on my tight five on the try some bits that I'm working on.
Yeah, you have a captive audience.
Yeah. I would love to be the funny guy in jail.
Well, that's what, like Joey Diaz. That's where like he got his like inspiration to like try it. But like I would not do well in jail. I need some variety to life.
Yeah. I have that whole bit about how I do like fine in jail, but like like I think in reality, like I probably wouldn't do good either. Like I get so bored so fast. I probably just end up like banging my head against the wall until I died. Like
I feel like if you like reading, jail's probably.
Oh
not
yeah,
that
I would probably get into reading and lifting weights. I'd become one of those dudes who's like only jacked in their arms, nowhere else.
Yeah. That's what they have, like a gym program now. That's like the jail workout, and you like go to this concrete building, and they're like yelling at you and like that's so stupid. But
the jail workout, it's like you have to work out with a bunch of phone books taped to your side.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like all body weight, and then there's like a pull-up bar.
There was this wrestler I'm really into, like hardcore wrestling and stuff, like the really like gruesome stuff, like the gore. I love wrestling too, and there's mad blood, mad stuff. There's this one dude, Nick Gage, who he was like his whole thing was like he used to be in jail. Like, he went to jail for like robbing a bank. And so when he like came back, they did a prison match and stuff, and so it was mad funny because like they would try to like shank each other and they would have like books like taped to them and stuff. They're just mad good like prison gags and stuff. Yeah, and, just so funny. Yeah, that's
what prison is ripe for comedy, just because it's like already high stakes everything.
Yeah,
like you're in there for a serious offense already.
Yeah, hopefully. I feel like we'd get in there for like weed offenses.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm always scared. Like even though weed's legal now, I'm still so fucking paranoid. I have 35 years of paranoia built into my system.
I remember I used to think that I wouldn't be like old enough to buy weed when it finally became legalized, but now it's like it took so long that it's like here we are.
Yeah, that's it. I always knew it would become legal, but I thought it was going to be like 60.
Yeah.
So I figured that people my age would have to become old enough to write the laws, and then that's when it would become legal.
Is that like one of those like kid thoughts that you had, like only old people can like write laws?
Yeah,
I had things like that too. I used to not know how planes worked as a kid. I used to think that like Florida was like a place in the sky.
Yeah,
I didn't get that we had to land. You know?
Oh, because you had to fly.
I thought we had to fly, and then I thought we would just end up on a spot in the sky. Like,
I'm going to have someone come and teach you how planes work.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's a crazy thing about the 9/11 pilots.
Yeah.
They never learned how to land.
Yeah.
That's like, I never thought, my mom said that to me the other day. I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah, all those people, like, never learn how, because all they had to do was just go into that building.
That's why I feel like flight school should start with landing.
Yeah.
And then, like, hey, there's other options.
There's other things you can do with this. Now we branch out.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do the takeoff. Yeah.
Can you do me a favor?
Sure, what is it?
Can you get my coffee?
Oh, yeah, of course, man. Yeah.
I don't want the viewers to see me get out of this chair.
Of course.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Here you go, buddy.
Thank you.
Fuck yeah. Oh. Yeah, no, that chair is fucking crazy. What you got?
I fucking like it. I wish it reclined a little bit.
Yeah. No, that chair's like it's fun until like you feel like you lost control and you feel like you're gonna like knock everything down. Like yeah, no, that was funny. Like just seeing you get to it. Fuck, man.
So,
yeah.
So you like just started with comedy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. You're getting so comfortable on stage. It's very impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I've loved comedy for like most of my life. Like ever since I could like understand like words and stuff, pretty much I was always just engaged by like people on stage and stuff. Like I remember my first comedy memory was like watching like Bill Cosby with my mom and stuff like on HBO Family before.
Hey, this show isn't about serial rapists.
Exactly. Serial killers already. All right. Yeah, no, I've always loved I just have like a passion for stand up. I always knew I kind of wanted to do. I used to be like one of those people who before they got into stand up, they would be like, "Yeah, I'm like funny like to my friends. Like I'm funny conversationally, but I don't think I could be funny on stage, you know?"
Yeah.
It's like
See, I think that's what actually makes you a good comic.
Yeah.
Because I talk to so many people after shows who are like, I think I could do it, and I'm just like listening to them being drunk. I'm like, that's exactly why you can't do it, because you think you can.
Yeah, no, you have to think that you're not gonna be. You kind of have to think that you're not funny to be a comic.
Yeah,
like, you have to, like, it's funny. Like I feel like I still feel that way. I feel like I bomb on stage, but in the conversation I have afterwards, I'm killing it. Like I make people laugh all the time and in conversation, but like.
That's why there's a comic, Mike Birbiglia, is very like kind of like a PG, clean kind of guy, but he's got this bit about the only thing that really makes a comic really good is delusion.
Yeah,
is a delusion that you'll be successful, delusion that like just delusion. I was like,
then I
believe it completely.
Yeah, no, I think in that case, I think I am destined for success. Because I am fucking delusional. I'm like here being like, why am I not on shows 3 months into this? Like, yeah,
no, it will come. Trust me,
dude. I know. I'm stoked. I'm like, it's like this is also like the one like hobby that I have where I'm like, I enjoy doing this now.
Yeah,
like with me, I used to be like in bands and stuff, and like that was all fun and like, but then like having to deal with like other people, having to deal with like the shows and stuff, getting there, putting your gear up. Yeah, I loved being a band really when I started doing vocals and I didn't have to carry things in and have to do when I could just be on stage with a mic, and like that's when I was like, yeah, maybe I should just focus on like I don't know. Through the pandemic too, it made me be like, I gotta find something else to do.
Yeah,
man. Like
an outlet.
Yeah, like it's a great outlet for emotions because sometimes you can just get up there and like not say anything really. You can just vent.
Yeah, sometimes. So that's the weird thing. Like sometimes I mean people won't believe me, but sometimes I do get sad.
Yeah, right.
And I feel like that's the only thing that comedy doesn't help, because it feels so impossible to make someone laugh in that moment. And it's weird. So like, especially after, if I have like a good show, like there's such like a high that it's almost like doing ecstasy.
Yeah.
Where like the next day is like, oh, I can't move. And I'm like,
Dude,
even though like that high is still in my head.
Yeah, like you're still just like, oh man, like this is gonna be forever. That's what I think too. Like whenever, and even when I have a show, it's like, or like I do like a mic or stuff, and I do like all right, like I'll come back, like I'll be with you next morning, and be like, wow, it's gonna be years of just that for a while, and I gotta like strap in for that. Yeah, no, it's like, yeah, no, comedy is mad fucking fun for me. I had another point to say, then oh yeah. That's the thing when you're talking about making like people laugh when they're sad and stuff. I think that's like one of the things that like I thought like I was good at. Like I love just like when someone's sad, I'll like just try to take their mind off of it, say something stupid. It's like they can't make no choice but to be like they have to acknowledge it, and then they have to like have some sort of like emotion that isn't laughter, like that isn't like sadness or like anger and stuff. But just like, you know, everybody should feel their emotions all the time. I never want someone to like feel like they. I don't want people to feel like they're being a downer, but also it's like, you know, laugh a little bit. It'll make you feel better. You know, it's like Amber taught me this. It's like psychologically proven that if you're feeling bad and you just fake a smile, it will make your mood better. Like you just go like that. Like, you can't help. Also,
I feel like emotions have momentum. Yeah, like I feel like when you can just break the momentum of like sadness has just such like a down, and you can break that even if you don't go back up,
you're still like you still feel a little bit better even if you're that's funny. I love doing that to people, but I hate when people try to make me feel better when I'm sad. Like it's like don't even start with me right now. It's like
fucking kill. Just let me get through this.
I hate when something makes me laugh and I'm like supposed to be like I'm trying to be in a bad mood, and like something will just happen in the wrong. I'll just be like, wait, no, come on, like we're angry, like.
That's what breaks me out of like an anger or a sadness is someone just being like, "Come on," like get over it.
Yeah,
and I'm
right.
like, "Fuck, you're right."
Yeah, like you just put it all into perspective for me, and I'm just like, you know what, that is true. Yeah. No, that's like kind of like what made me always want to do. I just love making people laugh. I love making people feel things. I just like, and like it's fun to be like, and I would love that if that was like my job, you know, making people laugh. Like that'd be great.
That's what like I remember my mom would watch Seinfeld, and I was like, I remember seeing her laugh and being like, "What is the connection here?"
Yeah, right.
Like,
I remember seeing like my parents would like watch like different like sitcoms and stuff like that, and like I would see them like my dad like start cracking up laughing. I'm like, how did they make him do that? Like, I've because like I would like my dad was like a funny guy and stuff, but like I would like see him laugh like sometimes, like whenever I saw him laugh, because he would have the biggest fucking laugh and stuff, and I'm just like, ah, damn, how do I get like that? I got my dad to like do a laugh like that to one of my jokes. I told him over the phone, and I felt so fucking. It's better than any show I could ever get ever. Just like my dad laughed super fucking hard at like a joke that I wrote.
That's a cool thing. So like my dad, growing up, I love my dad. He worked his ass off to make sure that like we had not just like roof over our head, like. But I never really saw him like do something he enjoyed.
Yeah, right. Like my dad was like one of those guys who like always like he was always like, yeah, I like working. Like I like fixing things. It's like, Dad, come on. Like we would be at like our grandma's house, and my grandma would get like mad at him, being like, why are you fixing the deck right now? Like you're here for like to like go to the beach and like relax and stuff. And it's like,
but that's what it is. That's where I think like our dads get joy is helping, doing something positive. And the first time my dad came to a show and like to watch him not just laugh at me, but laugh at like the other comics, I was like, oh, like I didn't really know you were capable of doing this. This is awesome. Like,
it's fun seeing your parents like have emotions and stuff.
That's why I think I wrote like a 3-minute chunk on my dad, because I was like, he'll laugh at if my dad laughs at this, like holy shit. Like,
I think my dad used to be like my first favorite comedian, honestly. Like that's like cause he would say shit all the time that would just make me laugh like my ass off, but it's like so like I don't know, I had like something written down that he like said like he's just funny. Like he's just a funny ass dude. I remember one day I woke up and like I would just go into the garage, he's like taping like dollar bills. I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? And he's like, he got into a fight with like his girlfriend like the night. He's like, I told Margaret that I didn't need any of her money, but I'm just seeing him scotch tape these 20s together, and I'm just like, well, Dad, it seems like, you know, we might need her money, so maybe drop the price. Yeah. He'd always have his lines. Like he'd always have like his dad catchphrases too. Like you know how like your dad just has like a line like that, like he'll say and stuff. Like I don't know. I remember he used to call cops like they didn't do anything, squirrel chasers, and I thought that was pretty clever at the time.
My dad used to say cool. Like the super ironically, like cool. And I feel like it was the first time like I understood what irony or sarcasm was. I was like, that's clever. You're saying the thing that I say, making fun of me.
My dad was also a big references guy too. Like he liked to just like say like Caddyshack lines, like when something like I needed that and stuff.
You know, I've never seen Caddyshack.
I think I saw it like once, maybe. That's like
I love Bill Murray. I think he's like a cool dude.
It's crazy because he's like not even in that movie like that much. Like,
he's
like I think he plays like the groundskeeper, and like his whole like storyline is just he just has to get like his groundhog out of like.
I thought that was like the whole thing of the movie.
No, it's like
I'll have to watch.
Apparently Rodney Dangerfield's in it. Like, I don't know.
What a crazy. Do you know like the Rodney Dangerfield story?
Not really. I just know that he like. I don't know. I see his like stuff, and I'm just like, that's like a community home. Like, okay, like this is only made for dads. Like this, like I don't know. Like this, like he's like he's funny, I guess, to like other people, but like I can't. Like I can't. This isn't relatable to me.
He's got so he from like the time he was 20 or something like that. He was working at being a comedian, and then like hit 40. And like retired. Like I don't know if he had kids or not, but he like became like a traveling salesman for aluminum siding for houses. And the whole time he kept writing, and then came back at 50 with the whole no respect. Like that changed everything, and then like blew up. I was like, that's insane.
Yeah, it's insane that you like to think like if me and you did that, like if we just like went back to like I don't know, like being like a barista somewhere, and then like we just kept writing. Then we made like some fucking like wrote like one joke like with a cool line that like just got us to like where we had to be. That's like the dream right there.
Yeah, and like you don't seem like you would be like a roast kind of comic.
Like the thing is like. When I think of things in my head to like say about other comics and stuff, like if I want to get up on stage and like kind of riff on somebody, I'm just like, oh wait, that's kind of like mean. I'll catch myself like thinking of jokes and stuff that are like roast jokes and stuff, and I'm like, I feel like I'm not like in the scene enough yet to like be able to like just start coming at people's necks. I would love to do. I want to do like a comedy fight club one day. I think that'd be mad fun. Like that'd be super cool because I like love. Yeah, no, I feel like most of the things that I say like make me myself laugh are things that I think about other people.
Yeah. But you have the same like too, where you're very internal. Like I think that comes from being comfortable with yourself. But like that's what like. So many people start and they're like, oh, Trump and this. Or
I know.
That. And,
I knew. I feel like I don't know. I don't want to suck myself off too much, but I feel like I observed comedy enough before getting into it. Like I would also write jokes too, even when I wasn't like doing comedy. I would just kind of like write like things out, like not like ever playing for. Like I don't know. I knew enough to like be like, all right, this is shit that's like kind of like I don't like no one wants to hear about like me, like what my opinion is on like the president or like what. Like, They don't want to hear really my opinions about anything besides like stupid things that I think to myself. Like, did the Polar Express and the Panda Express ever cross paths? Like.
That would be tasty,
right? Oh man,
that'd be like the dessert, Panda Express dessert. I don't know. I'm thinking of like a frozen. What are those molten volcano lava cakes?
Oh, those are fucking dope. Yeah, the chocolate lava cakes with some ice cream on them. Yeah.
I could live on just desserts alone.
Me too. I think about that all the time. I could live on junk food all the time. I guess a loose thing, I guess a loose tie into the episode. Richard Ramirez lived completely off of 7-Eleven food and convenience store food.
Wow.
Yeah. Fun fact. Yeah, he and it like rotted. His teeth were gross as fuck. Yeah. And one of the things that had like that they caught him with, because like everybody who like. If like sometimes he wouldn't kill you, he'd just rape you and like trigger warning. I feel like I should have done a trigger warning at the top of this episode because like being like we're gonna talk about bad people doing bad things. Like
I don't think anyone would click on the serial killer episode and be like, I hope it's about rainbows.
No, you would think that like some people like they like go to like it's like with people who go to a comedy show and they don't laugh. It's like that. Yeah. Like it's like what were you expecting? But yeah, no, he would And like people who like lived like who like went around him, they would always say like he had like this, and he also had really horrible breath.
Yeah. Like that was the part where they're talking about the lady who visits him, and she always brings breath mints, and they're like, she's like, no, it's just because it's nice.
It's like I gotta stay fresh for him. I gotta make sure I can kiss him. It's like no, bitch, like he's got teeth literally rotting in his mouth, like.
Well, that's like a thing where like he probably doesn't respect himself in a way. So like that's what.
It's weird. You would think them because like those guys, kind of like a lot of them, they seem like they're like they view themselves as almost like gods, like themselves. So you would think that they would like. You would think, be a little Ted Bundy about it. Get yourself cleaned up. Make yourself look nice for these people.
Yeah, if you're gonna go out and murder, like fucking suit and tie. Come on, it's a job.
Yeah, come on. Like, take it seriously. Think there's any murderers that are like comics that would just be like, oh, this fucking guy, yeah, hack, but like just being like, oh wow, leaving a note at the crime scene, just stab through the body with a knife. Yeah, okay, we've all done that. All right, buddy. That bit's kind of like, hey, your motive is kind of like mine. Like,
hey, I just want to let you know we got like a similar motive.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to.
Do I have like? Is it okay, like? Do you have like a bit right now where like you kind of like just kill a whole family using only like pliers? Is that like your thing?
So yeah, I heard you've been doing that, and I just want to let you know.
Like, I tried it out a couple places. It worked pretty well. Like can I pay you for that?
I bought my first joke.
Really, you bought a joke?
Yeah. So like my friend,
I feel like you would thrive on like writing jokes for people. I feel like that would be that'd be great for you.
I actually have like jokes that like I've written that like I've done in other people's cadences, and I'm like, ooh, I think I might just.
I would love to hear you
be like, hey, I have a joke for you.
I would love for you to do an impression of me, like doing.
Ooh, I don't know. I think I'd have to watch you more.
Word.
I think I'd have to be like right after you to do an impression of you.
Yeah, I gotta start staying at Mike's more because I love seeing your bit stuff, and like you always show up like around like a little bit later now, like and stuff, and I know it's like not again like we're always like trying to like leave like us like right when you come, I'm just like fuck Tim Rager's here. I gotta see I want to know what he's thinking about this week. Right?
It's been actually, dude, I've not been writing. It's been off. Yeah, like it's so not me. I
just bought a tiny notebook. I've been getting into writing again.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like right when it's on your phone. Like,
yeah, I feel the same way. Like if it's not like handwritten,
it doesn't feel as real. Like it also feels cool when you can like flip through like your notebook and you're like, oh wow, like this is all stuff that I've done and everything. And, and that's why I feel like with the phone, it's too easy to delete shit. Mm-hmm. It's so like you're like, oh, this didn't really work out, but it could be like a good premise. Mm-hmm. With notebooks, I like going back through the old stuff and looking at it. Yeah, and like also with phones too, it also is too easy to just like I don't know, it doesn't have the same like it's all mad organized, but a little too organized for me. Like I like to be able to like just cross shit out, maybe put things in there and stuff.
I'll show you when we're done here. I'll show you my notebook because there's like you kind of seem like a free flow kind of guy, and like so. I bought a notebook without lines.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you showed me this.
Yeah. Dude, that helps so much because you can just kind of scribble and cut and like.
Put this here. Put that there.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, you got like the scribblings of like someone who should be a serial killer. That's the thing. Like, you probably found it's like you found the stage instead of the knife.
Well, that's the thing. Like brain trauma check. Mm-hmm.
From all that hockey, right, and stuff like that. Yeah.
That and like I think. So when I was a kid, like I would have a terrible habit of taking basketballs to the head.
Oh, dude, I was that kid too. I would always like for some reason the ball would always find me to hit.
Like my nose is crooked.
Oh wow!
It's because I think it's because of soccer and basketball. Mm-hmm. Like there was like a year of my life where I think I broke my nose like 3 times.
Oh, I luckily I think the only thing I've ever broken, like kind of broken, is like this thumb. Because like I was at Thanksgiving once, and me and my cousin were playing football, and I tripped over him, and like my thumb did the thing where you fall and it bent all the way back. And that shit sucked. And my mom, like I got like one splint, and then my mom just like bought a bunch of popsicles afterwards, and just we made splints at our home, and it was great. Yeah. It's awesome. Like,
I feel like popsicles, like that's what healthcare used to be.
Yeah, just popsicle sticks and gauze.
Yeah,
and cotton balls.
Here, you eat the popsicle, and then you get
get the medical tape. Yeah, dude, that's saved. And this thumb still kind of feels weird. It doesn't crack the same way as all the other ones, but hey, as all the other ones I said, like my other 3 thumbs. Yeah, dude. Fucking I wanted to get in. I guess I wanted to get into like the 4 types of like killers and stuff, sort of. 'Cause I think that's kind of cool, maybe. But like,
yeah,
it's So yeah, you got like your visionary. which are like the people who like love like the product afterwards, like seeing like it all happen and stuff. The guys who like take pictures and stuff, the guy like those are like the guys who are mission oriented. They feel like they have to do this because they're like usually like they'll think they have like a religious thing. They'll have like some sort of motive that's like I'm on a mission to like show like people like this stuff, and then there's got the hedonistic that's just for their own gain. And stuff. Like they just want to do it. And then the power people, like the people who just want to do it for power, like just because they don't feel, because they're the people who like are like I said before, like who are just like, oh man, fuck you, dad, like I'm gonna show you.
Who feel like helpless in there. Those would be considered like MOs, right?
Yeah,
they're strong, like
pretty much
the like base point or the building block of an MO. That's it. Like the powerless one, that I get that one.
Yeah, right.
I get the desire for power. The hedonistic, I kind of get that one. But like that one scares me because like I'm at my base super hedonistic. Like if I could just literally live the way I wanted to,
I would do it too. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm like I can't do that. All right.
It's like that's how I feel whenever I'm like you just go in to buy like a Red Bull from the 7-Eleven, and then like someone's like just spending their whole paycheck on lottery tickets and they get them all scanned and stuff, and I'm just like, I want to be able to just like wring this person's neck like and just tell them like go away, like but I can't do that. Like, and then there's some people, then those are the hedonistic killers. The people are like, I have no inhibitions anymore. I'm just gonna do what I want. Like,
that's what I really think that like Richard Ramirez is like the most interesting one.
Yeah, right.
Because of the variety of the mode. Like you're saying, you rape people and then just let them go.
Yeah.
Like
some people are weird. Like, I'm kind of bouncing all over the place and stuff. Like the guy Richard Chase and stuff. He was weird. Like he would do like this thing where he kind of like would only go into houses that were unlocked and stuff. Like he would just go to house to house to house, and like if they were locked, he would pass by. He'd be like, "Okay, that person's not for me." And then like if someone's door was unlocked, they'd be like, "Okay, like this person." That's kind of like the mission oriented people.
Yeah,
it's like that because like Richard Chase was like a schizophrenic dude, and so he was like has heard voices and stuff, and so he would like. Yeah, and then if a door was unlocked, stuff, he'd be like, "Okay, like this is
wanted this.
This is my mission. They asked for this like now." That is why. Like Richard Ramirez is like mad, like weird and stuff, and he would always like do like this like satanic sigils and stuff. He was the guy who like kind of got the satanic panic like really in full swing.
Which they don't touch on that in that documentary. Like
it's so
really
cool. Like the part, like the things that like I love.
Like he was a pop culture icon, and he like created the subgenre of like
the true crime. Like that we all love. It's like like that's like, and then like the '90s came, and like you had your Jeffrey Dahmer. He was like the serial killer of that era and stuff. Like I love Richard Ramirez, like the story of him coming back. Like he took a vacation off, came back to LA, and then he was like had no idea. They said he went into a convenience store to like get a coffee or something, and then he just saw his face on every single every single publication that there could be. There was just his face on it, and he was like, oh, and then like it was like in those movies where you can like feel everybody like start to like look at him, and then eventually they were just like, get him, just getting chased by a mob. He like took a bus. He hopped on a bus really quick, and then as soon as everybody found out that he was on the bus, everybody just started chasing him off of there. It's an angry mob down the streets of LA, just cornering this guy. Yeah,
man, that's when we did things as a society,
right?
Together,
when people could come together and just take down this night stalker rapist.
Yeah.
But what happened to America?
I don't know. I guess we just stopped murdering.
Yeah, right. I feel like, I don't think we stopped murdering. We definitely got good at finding them. They say that the dude I mentioned him like earlier, Andrei Chikatilo, he was like a Russian serial killer, so he did like all of his stuff in Russia and stuff. And Russia's really fucked up with serial killers because like for a while they didn't want like anybody to know that like Russia was like a bad place or anything, so they never really investigated the serial killings. So there's a bunch of like serial killers that are just in Russia that have never been caught ever because they just don't.
Yeah, they just
hide it. Yeah, they hide it. They don't look into it. That's why Andrei Chikatilo, like he did stuff for decades, like upon decades, and then they finally caught him when he was like an old man because he was still doing shit. He would still keep because nobody was ever catching him.
I imagine that at some point you do end up wanting to be caught.
Yeah, no, because like that's the thing. Everyone's like, why is America like? Why do they have so many serial killers? Like we don't have that many serial killers. We just like want to stop them, and we care about like getting like we don't care that people think that. Yeah, and it's like because they would say that about that's like because then if Russia took care of all their serial killers, they'd be like, why does Russia have so many serial killers? And it's like, No, we're just good detectives.
So, when did I guess like what's the guy? Not Sweeney Todd. What am I thinking of? What's the guy in England?
Oh, Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
Is he like the first serial killer?
The first serial killer, I think I would probably say. Well, I mean, the first like well-known, like what we would call serial would probably be like this guy H.H. Holmes. He's the dude who started. He was like a kind of like old western kind of dude. Like was in like as soon as like this turn of the century came on, like he was like a big like real estate dude, and he made a hotel that was just strictly for murdering people. Like a huge ass like regular hotel, but it had trap doors, it had locking doors like from the outside, it had like gas tubes like going into the rooms and stuff so he could gas people. And then he had like dumbwaiters and stuff that were just like that would just go into a basement that just had a bunch of bodies in it and stuff. It was mad. Yeah, he was like I would call him. But yeah, Jack the Ripper was probably like definitely one of the like the first like ones, like him, probably Zodiac Killer, H.H. Holmes. Like those are probably the first like three like big guys who like got into it. But H.H. Holmes is weird because he was able to like have a whole system and stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess like in like this traditional sense, like a serial killer ass like getting your hands dirty. Yeah, I would probably call Jack the Ripper like one of the first.
I wonder, like, because like that's pretty, like, if you look at the evolution of humans, that's super late in I wonder if like
there's okay, so shout out to this podcast. Like I kind of get a lot of my last podcast on the left. They're great. They have like they do a bunch of serial killers, they do aliens, everything, and like they did like this special on like old western serial killers, and those guys are fucked up. Like the serial because like usually like they talk about it's like like they say like watch the people who are like quiet and don't seem like it, but like no, all the people in the old west who were serial killers, they seemed like serial killers. Like they were all like just think of like cowboys that were like just crazy people, like that were just unhinged, like that like more unhinged than your average cowboy. But no, Jack the Ripper's funny. There was this thing that happened where they were in England. They opened up a Jack the Ripper museum, and they were like marketed. At first, there was like a bunch of like controversy and stuff around it. They were like, they're like you're glorifying the killer and stuff. And they're like, no, this is for the victims. Like we're gonna remember all the victims in it. They're gonna like have all this stuff, and then they opened it up, and it's just like Jack the Ripper Central. We're glorifying death and gore all day, every day. And it's like, here's the pictures of all these dead prostitutes. And it's like, we don't know their names. Like,
yeah, but that's the thing. Like there's like tours and everything. Like you can try to not glorify it all you want, but it's interesting.
People love that shit.
Fucking interesting.
It's so fucking, there's like a bunch of Instagram accounts that have like a bunch of like they'll like auction off like serial killer like memorabilia and stuff. Like my one friend Trevor Payson, shout out to Pink Mass and Scuzz. Those are his bands. He's one of the dudes who really like helped me like find like a bunch of shit that like is like really weird because he's all into that shit. He does like a bunch of like when they go on tours and stuff, and like he'll like stop at like different locations, like cool like macabre stuff. Like there's a picture of him that like he has like one of Ed Gein's like cleavers and stuff. Mad cool. I would love to wield that like that shit. Like this was used on a human.
Yeah.
Like,
it has
that's
weight
crazy.
emotionally.
Yeah, right. No, yeah, and all that stuff is just interesting. Like I remember John Wayne Gacy would like make paintings and stuff afterwards, and like all that shit. Like, like there's like all the people are interesting.
Yeah, like you can say that it's
like
grotesque or whatever you want, but like I think everyone somewhere we have a base desire
to see that shit. Like,
yeah,
it's like because like in I have this whole book. I should have brought it. Like it's just dedicated to like South American like newspapers and stuff because they don't care about like censorship really and like those places and stuff. So they'll show you like the gory pictures on the front page of the news and stuff and they're just so desensitized. So I have a whole book of just like those images and shit, like, and they'll tell you like what date it was published and everything, like, what people can see. Like it's crazy. Yeah. Like people just inherently love this stuff, and I don't know. There's a right way and a wrong way to go about like enjoying serial killers. Like you can be fascinated by it and like just enjoy like the stories and stuff, and then there's like the people who are like really like kind of like, oh, like these people are innocent, like they're just tortured souls. And it's like
that's the scary part about reading into this stuff. Yeah. Like especially like the Unabomber.
The Unabomber.
Like, oh, that manifesto's got some points. Yeah, I don't like saying it, but
yeah, a lot of those guys. That's like Chris Dorner.
No,
he was like the killer cop. He He was this LAPD officer, and then he was like a black guy, and then like he saw like the racism happening, and like he tried to like speak up about it, but they kind of ostracized him in his like precinct. Like they would just like put like when he saw like somebody like beating up a black guy for not, he like told like the commissioner, and then he came to the work the next day with like a rat, just like a dead rat just on his desk. Like they were like intimidating and stuff. So like, and he was like, all right, fuck this, like you guys are gonna feel my wrath. And then he wrote like a whole manifesto on Facebook and stuff, just talking about how like racism and the cops and stuff, which is all cool. And then he started like killing a bunch of cops, killed some cops, like some people that cool ACAB, everything about that, like rock on. But he did kill people that were just related to police that like didn't really have anything to do with his situation, which is kind of crazy. And then he holed himself up in like a cabin and like shot fought off police for like days. Stuff. So yeah, he's pretty cool. But just has to get his morals straight, man. Get your priorities right, Chris Dorner. Come on.
Well, he's gone. He's not gonna watch.
Gone but not forgotten. No.
But that's I feel, and that's probably a combination of the mission. Well, no, that's actually the mission where you have a belief that you're doing something positive.
Exactly. Yeah. No, the mission
justified.
Yeah, exactly. And that you could argue it kind of was kind of justified. But then you have the mission killers who are kind of just like, my mission is to destroy all whores. Yeah. And it's like, I'm doing this for that. Yeah. Which is like really lame in my opinion. Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I just know that I could never serial kill. I don't think I could serial do anything.
Yeah. Right,
it's hard. It's dedication.
Yeah, it does. It's like a whole thing and stuff, and like, I want to I always think about it. Like, if I could kill somebody, like, who would I kill? But then like, I don't know. I want to get off with sanity plea, and I've had an actual motive, and like, I wouldn't get that. It's like I can't go kill like someone who like is a rapist, because then they'll be like, oh well, you killed him because like you want revenge, and it's like, no, I killed him because I just wanted to. Yeah. And it's like, well, we have a motive now. Turns out you're gonna do 25 to life instead of going to a. Yeah. I watched the whole thing about this kid who was he shot up his school, and then like afterwards he tried to like fake like being like crazy and stuff, and that's always funny when you see when you see like interrogation people and they're just like, and they're trying to like work the system, and like this kid was just like as soon as he gets caught, he's like, it's the demons, it's the voices and stuff in my head. And it's so funny seeing this dude like just do his job, this investigator, just kind of like be like, okay, kid, like, so tell me about the voices then. What do they sound like? And he's like, is it a young man? Is it a thing? And like he's like not
devilish.
It's funny because he was just like, it's like a voice in my head. It's like here, and then he's kind of just like saying, it's like, oh, so those are your thoughts then, is what you're saying. Like, and it's like, and he's like trying to like say like he did it because of this and that and the third, but then like in the video it's like he says this, but look at this incriminating ass like video from his. It's like, and it starts off, it's like, hi, my name is Nick. I'm gonna be the next school shooter of 2018, and then it's just like, okay, you're demons.
Ooh, good. Are like mass shooters considered serial killers?
They're their own kind of thing. That's kind of like a mixture of like the, what do you call it? The what am I talking about? The when you go haywire, berserker mode. It's kind of like that's like if someone started out instead of like building, they just go straight into berserker mode. Yeah, that's kind of what happens. Right. And like those people are kind of in their world of their own, because they're like, serial killers are very much so like, it can be very varied to what your motive is, but usually with mass murderers and stuff like that, their goal is to like be famous most of the time, or like
suicide by cop.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Then this kid like didn't even like, he was like like, and this kid was trying to like say that he was like suicidal, like trying to like act suicidal. It's like when the cop would like walk out of him, he'd like look at the camera and be like, oh, like do that to the camera and stuff. And we're just like, if you wanted to kill yourself, you would just shoot yourself with the gun that you've used to kill all those people, like all the other cool school shooters before you did.
Yeah, there's so many ways to do it. Even in jail, look at Epstein. He did it.
He got it.
Yeah, he figured
it out
all by himself.
Yes. Don't. This message was sponsored by the Clinton Foundation. Yes.
Thank you, Clintons, for sponsoring my podcast.
Go to Clinton.com, ClintonFoundation.com for your free Tim Rager coffee mug.
Yeah, Bill was a big fan of the when I learned a card trick. Yeah. he loved that one.
He's like, I'm gonna teach you how to get bitches today, Tim.
Dude, that would be crazy if Bill Clinton just was like honest.
Yeah, right. Damn. It's like
talk about serial killers.
Yeah, I was about to say the exact same thing. Talk about serial killers. This Clintons, right? It's kind of crazy how all those people that they come in contact with just kill themselves by shooting themselves in the back of the head. Oh man, crazy.
Twice, some of them.
Yeah,
that's
man.
That takes dedication.
Yeah, I was listening to this thing about the first mass murder, the first like shooter guy. I guess like you call him a school shooter because he did like post up like and start shooting like student stuff. Like the guy, I forget his name, but he what was the name of the dude that you just did the project on? The paper? The mass shooter guy? All right. It was this mass shooter dude, and like he just posted up on his in like a clock tower in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Clock tower.
Wait. It was
Charles Whitman, yeah. What do you call it? Yeah, and he's like probably like what you consider like the first like kind of guy to do that. Yeah, same dude. Just kind of wanted to. I forget his like actual. I think it was kind of just also he wanted to. Like, he felt like his life was just so mundane and stupid.
Yeah,
and, like he just wanted to like do something with it. He was cool. He was mad weird. Like he would. It was funny. Like you should have seen it coming like a mile away because like he'd go walk past that clock tower and be like, you know, a guy goes up there. You could stop a whole army for up there for days. Like, and he did. Oh, he had a brain tumor. That's why he would get headaches. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I
heard it. Speaking of brain tumors, I had this crazy story about this guy who started developing a brain tumor and for whatever reason started downloading child porn. Yeah, like it's just his brain.
Oh no! it's like that scene in Evil Dead when he's like when his hand is like all again possessed. He's like going to the keyboard. He's like, no.
But so he gets arrested, goes to jail. They find out about the brain tumor.
Wow.
And he had it removed, or maybe he didn't get arrested. I don't know. He had it removed, but then the impulse to download it stopped.
Oh wow.
But like he ended up being in jail for it. But then like, is it really?
It's so. What part of your brain just got fried?
Yeah,
to, like where it makes you want to look at kids.
Yeah, and is it also really like, if he had the brain tumor? Yeah, he's committing the crime. He must have known it was wrong.
Yeah, right.
But like, how responsible is he then for that? You know?
Did he turn himself in?
No, he definitely got arrested.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like
so
they found it. Like,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That I would say like if he turned himself in, that would mean like he like did know like something was like up and stuff.
Yeah.
But also with like in your state of mind like that, he was probably like he didn't see like the issue and like it's probably the brain tumor probably was like blocked out like some shit where it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and like it probably blocked out some like receptors being like, hey, maybe don't go on uTorrent.
Yeah. But that's like we're all so close from like having that mixed wire, that wrong. That's what I think is so interesting about serial killers is like there's humanity in them.
Yeah.
You know, usually you can identify with the trauma or just fucking wanting to kill someone who's fucking buying a whole shitload of lottery tickets. You know, like,
that's why I feel for Jeffrey Dahmer, man. Like
he was just hungry.
Yeah, exactly. Controversial opinion, but like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like if like. And, like, it sucked because, like, he was just going to spend his whole life in jail. Like, he didn't give him the death penalty or anything. But, yeah, then, like, other people, like, inmates, like, killed him and stuff. And so, which sucks. Like, I wish he kind of, like, I want to see, like, a Jeffrey Dahmer, like, reformed today, like, still in jail. Like, one of those cool guys in jail who's just like, oh, yeah, this is my life. I did what I had to do.
I did it. And now I'm here and... buy my new cookbook. It's called...
Yeah, right. Cooking with Jeffrey. That'd be great. No, he was yeah, no, I feel bad for him because, like, yeah, just a guy who, like, just a fucking, like, kid just like me and you, just, like, a weird-ass kid. And everybody would, like... He was the kid that in school, like, he would just act weird and everybody would, like, tell him to do the weird things. And he would think that's, like... It's
what
like,
he has to do.
What, like, I'm like, okay, like, I'll have friends if I, like, act really, like, retarded and stuff. And then everybody, like, would be like, oh, wow, Jeffrey, you're so funny. And then just, like, it was, like, very fleeting friendships that he never really had. And so, he was really like fucking crazy. His whole thing was he got obsessed with like this dude who would jog by his house like every day and stuff. And so some days he would just like sit in the woods and stuff with a baseball bat, like waiting for him, and like never be able to like actually like make his move. And then one day like he picked him up, like he was I think like graduated from high school or something like that, and like his parents were gone for like the weekend, and so he saw the dude jogging. He was like, "Hey, say you want to come back for some beers or something?" And then yeah, it's like that was his first kill, I think. I don't know how I don't know how he got away with it. I'm not sure. I might also be getting the story wrong, but like whatever. Yeah, he was crazy. His whole I don't know. Sometimes I feel sad though, because like I know like if I was during that time, Jeffrey Dahmer wouldn't like me, like you know. I wouldn't be his type. He was into like Puerto Rican dudes and black guys, and that like and hairless. He wanted them all like no hair on their body. There's one story where talking about the less dead. There's a guy who he like had, and he was like in the middle of like torturing him, kind of like, and so the dude like escapes and stuff, and he's like running out on the street like in front of Jeffrey Dahmer's house, and he's like got blood like coming out of his head and shit, and like the cop comes, he's like, "Oh, what's going on here?" And he's like, "This dude doing this," and then Jeffrey Dahmer was like, "Don't worry, officer, just doing some gay shit." And then he was like, and the officer's like, "Oh, I don't want to touch this. All right, go back in." And like that's why like a lot of his crimes they just got like because people just thought he was like a weird gay dude, like kind of, and so they didn't really want to ever like fuck with him because like they didn't want to like they thought it was all icky. They were there was a story of a dude.
That's
like,
very progressive of them.
Yeah,
like,
hey, come on, man. That's
hey, I don't judge.
Yeah,
you do
I don't,
you.
I don't judge. Just take it over there, back in your home. He used to like frequent a gay bar a lot of the time, and like people like say that like some people have stories about like how he would like flirt with them sometimes, and I would always just think like that must have been horrendous. Just being like, well, what do you smell like? What's your natural odor? I was like, okay, bye. And
but also, like, what a compliment too.
Yeah, right. Like, honestly, if Jeffrey Dahmer, like, he would just be like a guy who stands way too close to the people dancing in cages, like, way too into it.
Yeah. This is almost exactly what I'm into.
Yeah,
almost.
I just wish this guy had less body parts attached to him. It was in my belly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his whole thing was the reason he started eating them is because he was like, I want to pay respect to them and stuff. And it's like when you go, like, you know, you kill a deer and you use all the parts of it. You know, you don't want it to die in vain.
It's very, very Native American of him,
right? He got into weird like kind of satanic stuff too. Like near the end of his stuff, like he was like kind of like trying to make like zombies and stuff. Like he would like inject like some shit. He would inject like some shit into like their brain and stuff to try to get them to like mind control. It like worked for a second once apparently. Like he some guy was able to like by work it was probably mean like he like was able to like shoot up, be like back to life for a second, be like and then like just completely like, go back. Like
probably just like hit like a weird nerve that sent like an impulse to contract whatever muscle. Or...
Yeah, he did like a bunch of experiences. He would leave like shrines and stuff. There's this band called Dahmer who like they're like from Canada and stuff, and they have like this like one album where it's just like some dude's head and then both of his hands are just like they just use like Canadians be crazy with that. Like every band that's not from America be crazy with gore. Like or like bands that like have like members that are like immigrants stuff they don't care about like offending people with that shit.
Well, that's the thing too. Like if you're gonna make dark music with like not dark music, if you're gonna make heavy music, what better? Like what? Like I was in this band. I was filling in. This band Faber, shout out Faber. Long broke up, but like all the songs, like not all the songs. There was a song Dismemberment that was about. It's not Casey Anthony, but it was something that was happening around the time of Casey Anthony in Florida also.
Casey Anthony on my podcast Meat Lettuce, like we always talk about how like Casey Anthony, you know, did she do it? Oh no, she was a little too pretty to do that, guys. I'm just kidding.
See, like that's the thing where it's like she just really wanted to party.
Yeah,
like,
right. And then she just didn't want to kid around.
Yeah,
it's so really funny. Like I looked. Did you see that thing? Like apparently she's getting into bar fights. No.
Really?
Yeah. There's like somebody like saw her at like out just like probably like I guess like wanted to fuck with her, and so she was like, "Fuck you! I didn't kill my kid." Obviously. Yeah. There's just mad funny. There was like I read an article. It's like what Casey Anthony's up to now, and it's like shows like pictures of her in her home, and she's like has like a picture of like her and her kid, and she's like doing like a fake like, yeah, I'm sad. Like, I'm definitely sad that like.
Yeah, honestly though, like she's like the perfect girlfriend.
Yeah, right.
She's cute.
Doesn't
She's gonna get rid of it if
you don't have to worry about paying for an abortion. Like, she's good.
Oh, jeez, that's
Doesn't do kids.
terrible.
Yeah, there's like a weird like female serial killers like a whole like other like thing that's like mad cool. Female serial killers though, like sometimes like they have like way more of like a, I don't know. This seems like like kind of like one sided and stuff, but like sometimes it seems like they have more of a reason to do it. Like you know who Eileen Wuornos is?
No,
she's like the most famous out of like she's like the poster like girl for like women serial killers. She was just like spent like her whole life was just like shitty and stuff, and she was like a truck stop like prostitute for a while, and then she started like killing like dudes who would pick her up. And a lot of it, like some people say it's like, yeah, it was in self-defense because the dudes were like trying to harm her and stuff, but then there's like other crimes where it's like self-defense, like the end product doesn't look like self-defense at that point.
Yeah, that's what I never really thought about it that way, but I do feel like women would have a lot more justification.
Yeah, women are different too when like it comes like, so when men are mainly killers, they'll do it very like pronounced and like they'll like make a scene out of it, but like women will kill you over time. Am I right, guys? No, it's like they'll do like there's a lot of cases like women like they'll poison their husbands and stuff, like a lot of poison, a lot of like things like that like they think that can't like be tied to them and stuff, but it's like you're the only person making their coffee every day, so
they're more heady about it.
They're way more like long process, like I'm in it for the long haul and stuff. And like there was this one lady who said she like used like an axe to kill like her husband and stuff. She said that like she came like when she she would swing the axe and they would like penetrate and she would be like like that from it.
That's like a super wires cross.
Yes, like
to have it directly tied to your clitoris.
Yeah, dude, imagine. Dude, if honestly, I think there's like one case of like a dude like combing in his pants when he the last podcast guys, they made a book and like they did a chapter on Andre Chikatilo, and then there's a bunch of like pretty much his whole thing was like he would kill somebody, prematurely ejaculate like while he's killing them, and like just like there's so many parts where he's like, once again, like I have to write this, prematurely ejaculated in his pants. Like it's like, yeah.
Well, do you mean like premature, like before he murdered?
No, like in the middle. I guess like I don't know. He's not like fucking. I guess like premature in the sense that like his dick isn't out of his pants yet. Like and
that's what I always said. That the best case scenario for a rapist is that they're a premature ejaculator.
Yeah, right.
So they like go to rape and they're like, oh, never mind.
This never happens. I'm sorry. I gotta go.
That way no one gets raped. That's all I'm saying is I don't. Damn it. All right, you got anything?
Fucking, we were talking about I had something to say. Oh yeah, about premature ejaculation. I think I never had that issue. I think it was like as soon as I discovered, my parents I got a computer in 5th grade, and they were like, "All right, we could put it in his room." On it, and then I started. It's funny. I used to always have my door open, but then as soon as the computer came in, there's a direct correlation between like computer doors always closed now. But like I never had a problem with like prematurely ejaculating and like never nocturnal emissions and stuff because I would always I would get that shit out during the day. Like, and I never had a wet dream ever. Like
I've had I think like 3.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, those dreams are vivid as fuck.
I bet. No,
dude.
I honestly wish they were, because I wish I had one, because I want to like experience, just like see how intense some of see what kind of orgasm it is.
There's one I still remember like scenes from it quite vividly.
Wow.
Yeah.
I once had a dream that like really it confused me a little bit, because like I had a dream where like I was like at this like party, and then I walked into this room and there was just a girl like being gangbanged by dudes, and like they're like, "Hey, come here," and then like I walked up. And like I was just there, and like I just saw like the butt and the pussy, and then I just looked over, and I was just like, and the dream was just focused on all the dicks. And I woke up just being like, like, what does this mean?
That's the worst. Trying to like when you have a dream and you like read into dreams don't mean shit.
I don't know. Amber has some to say. She'll say that all the dreams mean everything.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have a bunch of dreams where like my teeth, like I have like dreams where like I'll like be like grinding my teeth, and I'll feel them like start breaking out of my mouth and stuff. I hate dreams like that because I wake up and I'll like start feeling like mouth being like, did I actually? Do that? Like, that's always the craziest thing. Yeah, I love dream. I used to be when I don't smoke weed a lot, I can like lucid dream like way easier.
I was taking Alpha Brain for a while.
What's that?
So it's that Joe Rogan brain pill stuff. But that shit will give you like lucid dreams.
That's awesome. Yeah, lucid dreams are fun. I feel like I always like, whenever someone's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, I always just imagine like a big long road and a hill, and then I just jump off that hill and then I like float. Like I just go. Whoa.
See, I was never good at like. There was one dream where I controlled it where I could fly, but I was in a building, so I couldn't like get out of the building. So it's just like flying around the building,
like a you're like an oversized fly.
Yeah. And then the other one, I was I could fly, but I could only go like 2 miles an hour, and I was like, "Come on, we're doing it, but like faster." So I feel like I'm okay at lucid dreaming. I'm not great.
Yeah, right. I gotta get better at it. You know?
But I always spin out. Then like I don't know what it is, but like whenever I'm like aware that I'm in control of my dream and that I'm dreaming, it just starts spinning, and I can never stop it. And then all of a sudden, I'm in a new dream, and I don't have control over that one.
I have a lot of lucid dreams where they turn into like weird like nightmares almost, but like I'll know that like I'm dreaming. So like in my head, I'll be like, wake up, wake up, wake up, and I'll like feel my body like being like lifting my head up, like to make myself get out of it and stuff. I always save myself a close call. Yeah.
All right. You got anything else?
I don't know. I think we kind of covered most of what I can talk about with confidence, you know? Like without like saying any like facts that aren't true and stuff. You know? True crime community is like stupid with that. They'll be like, "You got this person's name wrong."
The date was wrong. It was actually October 3rd.
Yeah, it's like it actually happened the night prior to what you're talking about. Like, yeah, but like it's like I don't care about the detail. Only detail I care about is the blood. Like, yeah.
Am I right?
Am I right, guys?
All right, play us out, Tim. Tim's kinda dumb, let's help him get smart. It's time to teach Tim stuff. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for doing it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
All right, video guys, you guys are gonna see this part. Okay. All right.
Is this part still recording?
No, there's the video.
Oh, word.
I don't